没有录。
OK，我现在录了，
到荧幕哎，
你看不到荧幕，好。
对，
现在呢？
有看到
看到了
，yes，
，OK，好，
有看到。
好。So very quickly, well, when we talk about level 3 now, okay, 2 and 3, okay. First, the idea is that you want to pick a good stock to buy, okay. Then you find a good entry point, and then you have the good exit point. Good exit point or bad exit point. Good exit point meaning that either you want to stop loss or you actually take profit, okay. Then this is more advanced, so I'm skipping that. Okay, now Alice is jumping ahead of the game, talking about this. The one I'm using today's subject. The second subject is about this candlestick, and this is the T-shirt I'm talking about. So this is candlestick. Okay, so does it look like candlestick to you? This looks like candle, right? This is the candle. This is it's called wick, W-I-C-K, the upper part and lower part. So for this, we can see here, this is, before this coming here, American actually using this. So you have 4 points. Here is the open price. This is close price, okay? And the top is the high of that. If we're talking about daily chart, then that's the high of that day. If the bottom is the low of that day, okay? So if translate to the candlestick, then become, this is the open, this is the close, then top is high, bottom is low, okay? So you have 4 points here. So you have low, open, close, high, okay? But this tell you what? Tell you that that day, this particular stock is starting from low, go to high, close at high, okay? But if there's a bad day of that stock is open high, close low, then structure-wise look the same, okay? The same. But difference is this one is empty, this is solid, okay? Or when you see the solid candlestick, meaning that it's open high, close low. Then when you see the open one is open low, close high. Okay. So right away you find out that even you don't spend much energy, just look at that. You already know that that day the stock is doing well or bad, worse. If you only look at this chart, it's hard. Okay. And also, any questions so far? Okay. This not only this actually start to give you good idea to know the market psychology, because now I want to introduce to you, actually trading stock is actually psychology. Okay, you just decide when to get in, when to go out. You make a decision, and all the participants get involved, all making decisions themselves. Let's say Apple today, I forgot the number, it's probably almost 180 something. Okay. I think it was closer. You can check. I think it's almost, yeah, I think it's 189, close to 190. Okay. So today, actually the market people, whoever is buying the stock, decide they are willing to spend more than 185, 86 to buy that stock. But one couple of days ago, actually then dropped very fast. Okay. Why it's dropped? Because people somehow decide they don't think Apple worth that much money. This is all psychology. Okay. Why? Because you like it, you buy it. You don't think it's worthwhile, you don't buy it. Some of this can be right. The feeling can be right. Some of the feeling can be wrong. But end up is all your psychology. How do I say the psychology? Because let's say you know the fundamental of the Apple. You think if Apple is good, and you believe the Apple actually is selling the new phone, selling very well. So that's psychologically, that's your feeling. So it's your perception. So whenever you see this, each chart just tell you that people's perception about that product. Okay, so let's starting from here. Today Apple is probably let's say this particular stock actually is like this, meaning that starting out people are very happy with that stock, then it closes, the psychology change to they want to sell. Okay. So what do this mean? That when the market stop, meaning that most of the majority of the people involved in the Apple stock doesn't feel that Apple worth more than this. Okay. So if tomorrow you think people will be willing to pay more or paying less for this, do you know? You probably don't know, actually. You probably don't know. But if tomorrow when the market open, you see the price start out at this level, what does that tell you? Tell you after a good night's sleep, people decide Apple worth less than yesterday, right? So this is, you essentially, you use this to know how other people think. Okay, and how this is happen. What I'm just talking about you and me, okay, one-on-one. But for those experts, the big firm company, okay, those people actually do major analysis, fundamental, everything they analyze, they come out, they cannot hide this because they need to buy. It's better price they buy. So you also look at that, you know they decide today this is worth it. So actually the stock market, price of the stock is not actually what is really presented. It's representing people's feeling, people's conception about how that stock works. Okay, so this is a good example. If you say Netflix, some people say it doesn't worth that much, but in general, the whole market, everybody using this chart, you know, everybody believe this worth more. So it just go like crazy up there. Okay, and now I'm talking about that. I can explain it a little bit what happened today about Apple, because I own the Apple. I trade use option. Okay, so when this morning my option actually, I was about 60% gain from my option stock trade. When the close, I look at that, my gain become only like 14. Okay, why is that? Because one of the big firm actually come out with a news. They say their study or their information tell them that iPhone 10 sell much worse than expected. Yeah. Huh? Yeah, I'm very good point there. Okay, so what I'm going to tell you is some of this news may affect, it's true, some of this is not true. But the bottom line is what? You look at the chart. Because when this news come out, tomorrow you look at that, then the Apple just drop like crazy, meaning that people believe this is so much. How serious people believe that. Okay. Now, you have to learn more about this from me later. Today, one day I can explain all this to you. I can use another example to tell you. Let's say last week talk about the government shutdown, right? Then people will guess if government shut down, then the stock will drop, but not necessary. Some people say not necessary. Okay, just say the internet connection is not stable. Florence, 你还听得到我讲话吗？
听得到，听得到，
因为我这边说不太稳定。To make a story short, its bottom line is that even that particular stock, government shutdown, some people believe it will affect, it will not affect. Some people believe it doesn't affect that much. The end result actually doesn't affect that much, right? Not only that, when it decides it's not, the market go up like crazy. Okay, so then all this will be reflected by this chart. You look at the chart, you say, oh, it's going higher, then actually tells you most people believe it's going higher. Okay, so let's go further now. Okay, actually these are like a very these are like all the code word. Okay, look, it's very scary. This is a 12 important signal If you want to learn candlestick chart, you need to understand this, okay? But don't be scared because my teacher has a very good video explaining this, okay? Actually, for Chinese people can only speak in Chinese, I also find one in translate Chinese. Okay? But I think that is the different people do it. I think much inferior to what my teacher is teaching. Okay? So this my teacher said actually he said I just from memory he says about 60 or 70 chart signal, but his 30 years experience, he find out probably you understand is 12 is more than can make more money than you can spend. Okay, so just be patient with this. Then I'll tell you this. My philosophy about this is to learn the market is that you just have to be patient. Okay? You make up your mind every day how much time you want to spend on that. Okay. Let's use this video as example. This is a video from the beginning to teach you this 12 signal. It's about, I would say, about 1 hour. Okay. Let's say you're only willing to spend 10 minutes a day. Then spend 5 days or 6 days. You finish once, right? The first time you understand some of them you don't quite understand. Okay. So that's 1 week. The next week you spend 10 minutes a day. Then let me add this is not, it's kind of tricky, but I believe usually when I teach people, after they watch 3 times, they at least grab something already. So when I tell you that you spend 10 minutes a day, sounds not that difficult. I'll tell you it's not that easy either. You really have to write it somewhere, keep reminding yourself 10 minutes, 10 minutes, okay? Usually people say 10 minutes is easy. The first day I will do 30 minutes, you do 30 minutes. But you know something, after a week, the person has not finished that video yet. Okay, so again, it depends on you, okay? So if you actually really religiously following my instruction and you say, you watch the video three times, you still feel that you don't understand at all, I'm willing to go over that with you, just in person. Also, then I'll just explain to you, okay? But so far, I have yet to have somebody need to do that with me. Okay, really, so let me just start with the first one you definitely need to know, okay? So let's go back to this. Remember what is this? This is a candle, right? Candle, and what's the important point of the candle you need to know? 4 points. You need to 4 points. Bottom, high, low, high, and open, close. And how do you tell which one is open, which is closed? If the body is solid, it's empty, then it's open low, close high. If it's solid, open high, close low, okay? With color sometimes help you, but that causes confusion between Taiwanese and American. Because the Taiwanese red is good. So it's the color was just reverse. Okay. Okay, so with that in mind, okay, so now here is a test. If the candle looks like this, what happened? Yeah, you don't see the body now. Yeah, open and close at the same time, same place. Okay, now remember what I talk about is psychology. So what does this psychology tell you? What does people think about this stock?
That it's right where it should be.
Good way to answer, but a different way to say this is that, meaning that people feel that the price can go higher, can go lower, but open and close at the same level. People doesn't, the sentiment about that stock did not change that particular day. So let's think about this. The definition of people feeling the stock is going higher is the bulls, right? The one want to buy the stock. You are bullish. The people feel that the stock doesn't worth that much is bear. So somebody here decide to say, I think the stock worth this much here. That will be, let's say that's a bear bull, right? The bear says, okay, it doesn't worth that much. You want it, I'll sell that to you. So you have a stock. You have a point here. A transaction happened here. Then you also have somebody actually get so crazy, feel that it's worth that much, is willing to spend that much. Then people say, you're so dumb, I'll sell that to you. But along the line, it's just going higher and lower during the day, then end up open and close at the same level. So meaning that actually you can imagine it's the bull and the bear are fighting, then they are even-handed. They stop at the same place. So meaning that day, the sentiment about the stock doesn't change, right? Because it's open and close at the same time. This actually is a godsend for people like me reading the stock. Why is that? Because it tells me that, imagine that if next day somebody is willing to buy stock at this level, what do you think? Yeah, most people actually, after good night's sleep, feel that it's worthwhile to spend more money. Okay, so let's say the next day happened like this, and then you have the candle. It's higher than this, meaning the stock is going higher. Then if the next day still look like this, meaning what? People has not decided yet. The bull and bear still not decided yet. Okay, if the third day still looks similar, meaning that bull still not decide. Okay, the longer you have the period like this, at some point, one side will lose, right? One side will decide to give up. The longer of this, the nature of the next move will be stronger. So let's say you have 10 days going similar like this, then you suddenly see the next one going higher. The chance you bet that is going higher, you can buy the stock now. Because whoever want to sell lower is people keep buying that, will keep that level. Okay, so this sign is called doji. Chinese is called star. Okay, so when you see the doji, you just watch the doji. The next day, if open lower, meaning it's worse. If open higher, is better. Okay, so that's the starting point. Okay.
The middle line, if it's very long or not that long, does it make any difference?
That's a very good question. The longer the chart, the more powerful that is. Imagine if somebody is willing to, so meaning that travel that much, if you go, let's say Apple is, let's still pick 180 as a point like this. Let's say Apple haven't, if you imagine that it actually go up 40 points and drop down here, then it drop down 40 here, meaning that people think very hard to go through that process and still stop there. So meaning people actually go through a lot of thinking. So the bigger the chart, the bigger the candle, more meaningful that is. Make sense to you now? Okay. So this actually is electronic box. This is my teacher. That's about March last year. I first, on the web, I found him. So the first trial is like $29 for 3 months, his subscription. Then has a lot of video. Then also said, give me this free electronic box. Then explain all this signal. So let me go over that book to you. This is the book. I don't know this is free or not. No, okay. Huh? I'm not too sure. Okay. I think I should not share. Okay. Actually, you know something? If either you want to learn from me, okay, then, but the video actually pretty much also describe all this. Okay. So if you watch the video, you don't look this book, is fine. Okay. The other thing is that if you actually decide to learn more directly from him, he actually also have special deal like the one I get. So next time when I see that, I send it to you, probably like $30 to try that for a couple months. If you don't want to continue stuff. Make sense to you now? Okay. So okay, here is what I just explained to you, right? This is This is open, close, because it's the open space, so that's low and high. And here is high and low, okay? Now we're talking about doji. This doji, I just explained that to you. So here is what so if you have a stock coming down from here and going like this, then you see a doji like this. Tells you it may start to change. Because you wait for the next day to see what, if this open here, meaning it's going up. Change is going up. Or if it's going here, it's continuing going low. Makes sense now? Anybody don't understand here? No? Okay, so let's keep going. So if you have something going higher and higher and higher and you have a doji, the next day you go like this. This also is turning point. Okay. Again, remember, 2/3 of chance will be right, 1/3 of chance will be wrong. So even you see this, you decide this is going lower, then you decide to sell your stock, it still can go higher. There's 1/3 of chance. Remember that. Don't come back and yell at me and say, teach me something wrong, okay? The way to handle this is that when you see this here like this, if you actually the next day or a couple of days later, it go back above here, it's the time to go back in, okay? So that is called doji, and doji has doji rule, okay? Today, if I go there, it's going to be too long, so I just go very quickly. Then this is one I want you to learn. Okay, look at this one. Is this a good candle or bad candle? How about this one? Is it good or bad? Okay, good one. What does this tell you? You want to guess?
Engulfing.
Okay. So I just teach you the doji. So that's your beginning signal you're learning. This is the second signal you need to learn. This is called engulfing. This guy actually engulfed the whole thing here, okay? I'm explaining to you here, okay? The day before, it's keep going lower and lower and lower, and that day when it's opening here, then the market actually decide the general sentiment feel is not worthwhile, so they actually sell it so close so bad, right? So it looks very bad. But next day, what happened? When it started out at here, meaning that when it started, now you see the end, right? But when you started, you look at this, it's bad, right? Because it's still going even lower, okay? Going lower, but during the day, it's not able to go even lower now. Whoever tried to sell it got bought. Keep getting buying, and actually close higher than this. So you actually see a candle. It's open lower than the day, the bad one, and close above, higher than that. So it actually entirely engulfs this. This is a bullish sign. This is a bullish sign. Using my analogy, just tell you, this is when you jump on the train goes south, but this is a sign to tell you actually the turning around is going north now. Okay, this is a very important concept to grasp, okay? So today, I think I probably will stop here, just the signal. Then I'll give you some, let's try a couple of the real stuff, okay? I think that will get you more interested, okay? So after you learn this from me, you pay attention to here. If you actually see the signal, just tell you there, you have this bullish engulfing at the bottom, then that will be the time you try to buy. Right? And also, if you see this is going higher, to answer Christina's question, then you see here, you see your, I explained to you it's a bullish engulfing. Imagine that the color just reversed. The previous, the one before actually is open bar, is a bullish bar. Then the next one is bearish, it's called bearish engulfing. Then that means turning the other way. So if you actually go from here to here, you see that appear, that's the time you want to sell. But also remember, 2/3 of chance you are going to be right, 1/3 of chance you can be wrong. And also see here, if you actually see this here and you sell it, then you just come back a couple of days and go back up again. And then you just sell it, you'll be very happy, but if you don't go back and look at it, you miss the long run there, okay? So that's another very important signal. Important message to take home is that when you actually see the signal, you should sell. You also have that set up that in your mind and say, what kind of chart appear you want to go back in? Because that's another reason why it's that only 10% of people are making money. Because I don't know, any one of you actually have this experience. You sell a stock and you stop looking at that. And after 3 months, somebody talked to you about that. You say, wow, I missed a big run. So what I just tell you, just help you to avoid that to happen, okay? But the very, very important point is that you need to decide that when you are wrong, you find out the train is not going to the right direction, you need to jump, okay? You need to jump the train, okay? You should not stick with the jump, stay with the train, because the train, once you realize it's going to, you can only allow that train to go to the wrong direction a certain distance. You cannot allow that to go further than that, okay? So notice that I only talk about this chart. I did not talk any about the moving average. I did not talk about all this index, okay? Because all other indicator is not important, but all other indicator is derived from this chart. So if actually you get a sense of the chart, you are going to be already on the winning side. Once you on the winning side, then I can start to teach you a little bit more. But I think you only stick with this. You should be stick with this idea, then have the gut to get out, and have gut, then you should be fine. Okay. Now, I'm a little bit tired now. Okay. So this is the Dow Jones. Okay, I show you the Dow Jones. That's 20 years. This is the way every day I do my exercise. The way I look at that is that I have four charts together. Okay, this particular one is Dow Jones. Then this Dow Jones, this chart is weekly chart. This is daily chart, and this is 5-minute chart. And this is actually it's a little bit tricky. This is S&P 500 future. It's pretty much the way this go tell me the general market going. So if I see the general market is going lower, I usually don't want to do on the wrong side, okay? Because about 60 to 70% of the stock go along with the index. So this just give me for reference. Then I will look at this, see if this chart is going this way, then I will be the long side. If this chart is going this way, I'm not going to on the long side. So that give me the basic feeling. So this tells me that actually from this time was 16, about February 16 was the bottom, then start to keep going higher. Okay, I have a confession to make. Okay, even with all this skill I do, last year I was doing pretty well, but my performance is behind if I just buy Dow Jones. Okay, even myself. Okay, so I just tell you this. Okay, so now I wonder I can. Okay, so here, I hope you can see this. Can you see there is a doji here? I am trying. Okay, no. I don't want to spend time on that. Okay, I don't. But as we keep going, we will see more obvious one. Okay.对啊，我现在找一个doji比较好容易看到的。Okay, let's review the signal I just teach you. What do you just learn? Doji, right? Doji is a cross. Okay, so whenever you look at a chart, you look for the cross. You look for the cross because once you look for a cross, you kind of know, you can predict what's going next, right? So I'm not I don't know how to make this bigger, but try a little bit hard. Do you see a cross here? Do you see this cross here? Okay, no. Okay, I think people are hesitating, meaning that it's not so obvious. Can you see a cross here?
Yes.
Okay. Well, this is fixed. Oh, there we go. There is a zoom in. Let's see how much. Let's see how much it can zoom in. Zoom in. Okay. When you see when you can.
This one big. B. Yeah.
Okay, this is top. Cannot do any more now. Okay. Can you see a cross here?
Yeah.
Okay. You see the cross here. What do that mean? Okay, then the next day is open higher. So it's keep going higher. Okay, so this is a 2/3 of chance is right. So you see this, you can buy it. Okay, so I can explain to you. People ask me, oh my God, this Dow Jones is going higher every day. What do I do? Your train doesn't want to go the other way to allow to jump and higher, right? So you say you miss your chance. Okay, so the way to handle this, first thing to understand is so-called you have to manage your market exposure. Okay, let's say you want to spend 100,000 to do stock market. Okay, then you have. Let me ask you, your psychology. If all your $100,000 is in the market, you will be more scared, or only 20,000 in the market. Which one you are more scared? 100,000, because it all every day, so you are going higher and lower. Okay, so actually that pretty much tells you how much you should get involved. Okay, so if now you have $0 get in, now you can think about buying it, because since the stock is going higher, right? So you look for this, when you see the doji, the next day open up, you buy a little bit. Okay, but let's say today because in the you already done this. Okay, so by now you already reached like 70%, 90%. Then you probably don't want to do this, buy more. Okay, makes sense to you now? So let's say you're starting from here. Then you buy, then you see this. Okay, this is almost like a bearish engulfing now. See this red one? So you see red engulfing, then you see, oh my God, I already have 90% in there. Okay, let me ask you this. That night, would you be able to sleep well?
No.
Right? Okay, if you feel, this is a very simple logic. If you feel that you cannot sleep well, that's the time you should sell too. You sell to the point you can sleep well. Or you ask yourself, can I not look at my stock? I can go out and play golf for 2 hours. I don't need to look at that. If you say no, then you need to sell. If you say, I don't care, if go a little bit lower, I can handle that. Then, so that's you manage your, okay. So let's assume now you are about 50%. Then it's really big. If you start to learn from me, your ability to tolerate this will become a little bit higher. Because you know that you know how to read that, you know how to get out, everything, you know you're making better decisions. So you will be more comfortable. So in the past, you probably only can handle 50%. Now, after you learn from me, you probably will be able to say maybe 70% in the market I can be doing fine, because when something's wrong, I can still get out. Even if I make a mistake, next time I can still do the right thing, I can make it back.
So this example is 1/3 chance it's wrong.
So here, if you buy in here, then you have to decide, when do I want to get out? Okay, so you can say, that's a little bit trickier. Okay, along the line, I'll teach you because reading the chart, you can use the previous day close, you can use the previous middle of the bottom. It's really, I can teach you. I actually explained that in my blog also. When you go up here, from here to here, it's almost like you're climbing a stair, this step, okay? So the market going lower, unless it's really crazy news, it's also taking the step down, okay? So if you go the step down like this and just going higher, then when you buy here, you can use yesterday the step or the day before yesterday as your stop loss. So the tricky part now is that if you use the day before yesterday, then what does that mean? You will preserve more gain, right? Or you lost less, right? But it's also a better chance you may actually was forced out of the market. Because you know market will zigzag. Okay, so if you don't allow your stop loss big enough, you get to zigzag out. We have that discussion about the BA, it's like that.
I have a question. The shadow block.
Just do the body.
Right. So after that shadow block, I go in the first, the green one. Oh, no.
Here?
No, down.
This one?
Shadow. Keep on going back.
The shadow
Going
box.
back.
Box. The box you draw.
Here?
Okay. After that, the first green one, the
Yeah.
hollow one, I get in.
Okay.
Center,
Yeah.
right? I'm in. So it's going up for a little bit. I can never go in again. But what do we do? Like you could jump, get in a little bit each time.
What percentage is your exposure? I'm asking you, when you get in here, let's again use $100,000. When you get in there, how much is you involved? You're involved? 30%, okay. Okay, you want to get involved more, then it's going higher, the next day you can still buy.
So it's okay.
Yeah, you buy to 50%, you say this is too much, I cannot sleep. You just buy to the level you don't want, you think you cannot tolerate. Yeah. And also, see, I hope everybody understands Christina's question. Okay, if you get in, when do you get in again? Okay, the get in again is that depends on how much money you have. Also, you can decide your decision. Do you want to be? It's coming back to your dollar averaging idea. Do you say do I want to do every single day or want to do every week? If I say because it can be too concentrated in a couple of days, the market suddenly change. Then you can say, okay, each week I'm willing, now I have $100,000 to put in, but I want to spread it out in a month's range. That will be a little, I usually do that. I don't actually just go in altogether. Okay. So let's keep going faster so I can explain more. Okay. So here, do you see the doji here too?
Yeah.
Okay. So this is also the time to get in. Then Christina just bring that up. I try to avoid that because I don't really want to get in too much. This is another way to decide. When you remember when I talked about the doji, okay, I say the longer the doji, the more powerful that is. Okay. So I need you to have a little bit imagination coming in here. Okay. This is a doji, this is a doji. This is not typical doji, but if you actually look at them, they are moving in the similar range. See, from here to here to here to here, right? So essentially, you can kind of conceptually think those are actually a group of doji. So this group, this level, these few days is actually a period of time